Before we start our episode today, I want to thank our sponsor, 32 Below Froyo and More. They're located here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They have frozen yogurt. They have tons of toppings, paninis. They've got salads, snacks. They also have beer and wine, adult floats, and every Saturday and Sunday, they have endless mimosas. So make sure that you follow them on social media, keep up to date on everything happening, and go support them. They're an amazing local business. All right, so it is the month of November. This month, we are going to focus on wellness. So each guest is around a piece of wellness, physical, emotional, mental health. And so we're going to be bringing on someone new each episode that gives you a tip, gives you a little nugget of wellness so that you can have a successful winter, so that you can be healthier and happier during this dark time. So enjoy the episode. Welcome to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Croc, and every Monday, I talk to someone here in North Idaho, the goal to connect more people in the Coeur d'Alene area. And then every Friday, I talk to someone outside the community to bring in a new perspective and to learn a little bit about yourself. Okay, I have Taylor and Josh with me today, so I'm so excited to talk to these guys. As you know, November, I am doing all different things, including health. So health and wellness, mentally, physically, emotionally. And so these guys are amazing. They really focus on health, but in a really cool way. So first of all, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's really good to have you guys.
Oh yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is awesome.
Of course. So how about Josh? Tell us a little bit about you, and then Taylor, tell us about you. So tell me a little bit about you guys individually. Josh, tell me about you, and then Taylor, tell me about you, like who you are, where you're from, and then what you guys are doing now.
Cool.
Okay, my name's Josh, obviously. I am originally from Ohio, and I moved out here like 10 or so years ago, and I love it out here. It's totally transformed my whole life. And now I'm just doing yoga stuff, doing movement stuff, doing content creation, doing all the things that I can.
Exactly. So that's really cool is that you also do video, you do photography, you do editing, you do yoga. I mean, you're kind of like a master of all the trades.
I guess so. And it's interesting because you always hear this thing of like, stick to one niche, you know, like stay in that lane and master it. And I'm just over here like, no, like I've got like a big curiosity and I'm like, I gotta do the things, man.
I love it. I connect with that because I'm kind of like, might as well. I'll just learn how to do it. Let's do this.
Right?
Well, Taylor, tell us a little bit about
my name is Taylor. Yeah, so my name is Taylor, and I am from the Coeur d'Alene tribe. I grew up down on there on the reservation, and those are where my strong roots lie. But I've lived in Coeur d'Alene for like the past 9 years or so, and so I've just been here ever since. And I've done a few things, like I've worked at Starbucks, and then the last 5 years I've worked at Camp Coeur d'Alene, which is this cute little campground outside of Coeur d'Alene. The last 2 years I've managed, and it's been a wonderful place to work for the last few years. And yeah, and so now I'm going to school to become a holistic health coach. And yeah, so I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing where this path takes us, because it's still very early on in our journey.
Yeah, lots of new things going on.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this 8 movement that you guys have started and done something with. You've done this for a while, so tell us a little bit about this business.
Yeah, sure. It's evolved quite a bit. We're just like rolling with the punches and adapting all the time. So originally it started out as this idea of creating a passive income for ourselves by selling physical products, fitness products, like foam rollers is what we started with. And then we got slapped with a patent infringement. And so
Oops.
Yeah, that was a big oops. So we stopped doing that, and we were like, well, shit, what do we do now? And so we really like fitness, and we were like, well, we really want to stick with the fitness industry, and we really like yoga. So then we moved on to yoga blocks, which we no longer do. And now it's just, we've moved away from the physical products mainly because
sustainability.
Just our morals, yeah, sustainability and creating less waste, you know? And so now it's just movement, coaching, yoga teaching, and that's it. So there's no products, it's just our time and helping people.
Well, I think that's amazing. What brought you to yoga?
Well, it's a long story, but it's a good one. So yoga started out for me when I was about 17 or 18. I went to a fun little place called Juvie, and I took a yoga class in there as part of like the recreation.
I'm learning something new about it. Fantastic.
Yeah, here it is. It's out in the world now. And I didn't like it, so I didn't do it for a long time. I did parkour instead when I got out. I used that as sort of an outlet to grow. And then I started going to North Idaho College, and part of the requirements for graduating was to take what are those classes called? Like well, whatever. You had to take a freaking class.
Well, like PE class, but you had to do something like outside of PE.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, yoga sounds cool, I guess. And so I started taking it. Actually, we both started taking it together. And it pretty much just changed our lives. It led us down an entirely different path. And so we just believe in the method and stuck with it and just went freaking full in.
Yeah, and you guys have really focused on the holistic. And maybe Taylor, tell us a little bit about like that path that you guys are on, doing that as well into your lives.
Yeah, so after doing yoga for since 2013 is when we initially got into it, minus his juvie time. But so 2013 is when NIC kind of offered that opportunity for us. We really started to learn about ourselves. Like we started learning about like what we truly want as a human being, who we are as a couple, who we are like in front of the world. Just basically learning as we go, and through trial and error, we're figuring out this life. And basically, we have found that we value like different things. So we don't really, how do I say this? So we try to find what works for us. We truly believe that like health and fitness looks different for every single person. And when we were early on finding out like what nutrition means to us, it's different for both of us. Like his is way different than mine, and just learning how to deal with that. Like I would cook a meal, but I would then realize he can't have it, but I would be fine. And so just learning how to balance, like, all right, well, you can't eat this, but I can eat this. But it's bad for you and not me. And so just learning how to figure out like, okay, well, what works both for us, for both of us. And so then that translated into other areas of our life, like what type of work do we like, how much work do we like, and how that is incorporated into our relationship and our families and our relationships with friends too. And so trying to find that balance between work, friends, family, life, relationships, alone time, even, like it's all important. And finding like that spiritual path too is where I'm really passionate about, is just doing the inner work to like present it to the world and hopefully inspire like others to be able to find what works for them, because it really does look different for everybody. So that's,
that
yeah.
So important it is. Everyone is completely different in how our bodies respond to exercise, food, stress, everything. And so it's very important to find out what works and making it work together too.
Yeah.
It all goes together. So you gotta figure out a way to intertwine everything so that you are happy and fulfilled, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes that's hard. Like we definitely have found what works for me and what works for him, but sometimes we have to, I don't want to say the word compromise, but it's a way of like, oh, okay, well, let's kind of figure this out and work through like why this doesn't work or is working, and then try to build off of that and make that better. So and that's literally everything between food, between work, family, relationships, whatever it happens to be. But yeah, we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Now tell me about these lake ice baths in the lake. What are we doing Saturday mornings?
Yeah, so it is the part of what's called the Wim Hof method, which is comprised of breathing techniques, mindset and commitment, and cold exposure. So that's where the lake comes in, the cold exposure. And so we do it every Sunday at 9 a.m. We just go down to the lake all throughout winter, through our frigid winters here in North Idaho.
Ooh.
It's
pretty brutal sometimes.
It gives me something to look forward to in the winter. I used to fucking hate winter. and now I'm like, yes, winter's coming, can jump in the lake. And we've built sort of this community too, you know, which is so important in people's lives, especially right now, right? With all the quarantine, and
yeah,
we won't go any further than that, but it's awesome, you know. There's so many health benefits to it, and so that's why we do it.
Yeah. So why? I mean, I know a little bit, but if someone's listening right now, why sit in the lake for a couple minutes? Why? I mean, that sounds silly. Like if someone's like, cool, let me go freeze my body off. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, we're taking the polar plunge to the next level, man. The reason that we do it is because, one, it helps with inflammation. And if you think about our lives, and it's full of inflammation, man, with all the processed foods, the sugars, even stress, like everything. It's just, there's inflammation just everywhere. And so jumping in the lake is going to help reduce that. Number two, it's a great way to learn how to deal with stress. So when you jump in the lake, obviously it's a stressful situation, right? You're going to get in and you're going to start like breathing crazy, but it teaches you to calm down, to relax, and that you can do more than what you're capable of. And that's the commitment part. And it's the breathing, the commitment, and the cold exposure, right? And so it teaches us how to deal with stress in a healthy way.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I mean, I know when I was running a lot, like the far distances, the inflammation, how much better I would feel the next day after taking an ice bath. Like I was like, oh, I'm not like, I usually when you get on the toilet or like, I can't move. But if you took that commitment to that ice bath, I was like, it sucks. But like the next day I was so happy. So that makes complete sense.
Oh yeah. It's so rejuvenating.
I feel like you get so much energy out of it. Like right after your body's starting to warm back up and you're like, wow, I feel like I can do this again. Like it's just so empowering. Like the first time I did it, it was terrifying. Like I didn't want to go in there. Like it's cold. It's like February and snow on the ground. And after you get past that initial like entry into the water, and your breath is like taken away from you because it's so cold, and you learn to just like slow your breathing down, and then eventually you just end up breathing normal, and it's almost like you feel warm after a while, like after a couple minutes you're warm again, and so that's your body like, we're safe, this is fine, this is okay. Your body doesn't respond to that initial shock in a bad way. But
Do you do it every week, Taylor?
I have not. I unfortunately have had to stay in the office at camp. So we close here on the 26th. And so after this week, I'll probably be able to go and take a dip.
You have to join us one of these times, Tabitha.
I won't surprise you. It'll be after a long run or a hard workout, and I'll be like, I need to do
this. Yeah. Well, it's every Sunday, so anyone and everyone's welcome.
Mm-hmm. For ice baths, and Independence Point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Independence Point.
All right. So, Josh, what is one life lesson you have learned the hard way?
Man, I was waiting for this question. I had to think about this. I still haven't really thought about it.
It's a hard one.
A life lesson that I have learned the hard way is, I think you should go to Taylor.
I got different ones.
Oh, okay.
You can talk about parkour. Early days
parkour. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Yeah. So a good life lesson that I learned from parkour, actually parkour and yoga, we'll just tie these both together, is parkour was like a huge part of my life. Like I was traveling around the US doing it, visiting different cities and gyms and people, and just going freaking hard. And it took a lot to step back from parkour and realize that in order to grow, I need to do other things so that this practice is better, right? So I actually started yoga as a supplemental thing to parkour. And over the years, it's helped me understand parkour better. It's helped me understand yoga. It's helped me understand movement in general so much better. And so I guess the life lesson would be to open your mind in order to progress in greater ways.
That's perfect. That's fantastic. Taylor, so what inspires you to be your best self?
Well, for one, it feels good. It feels good to know that I'm doing the inner work to be better than I was yesterday. And if I have a bad day, to not beat myself up over my bad days. And
or me, don't beat me up.
Yeah, either. I don't beat him up.
I'm just kidding.
And I have this goal, and I've always thought this way. Growing up from middle school through high school, like I've always wanted to be an inspiration to my community. So I've always felt older than I was. So I'm 26 now, but I feel like I'm this wise lady who, yes. And so I've always felt like I've had to be that person to try to inspire children and like young people in general for them to be their best selves. And I mean, I had every opportunity to be the bad kid, but it never felt right. And so I really tried to surround myself with like good people and just manifest that I'm a good person, and that feels good. And for example, my team this year at Camp Coeur d'Alene have been amazing. And my goal for when I hired everyone this year is we're going to be friends after this season, because I knew in my heart that it was time for me to move on after this season to do more of like this kind of work, like inspiring people and like getting my words out there and letting people know what's on my mind. And so, because I believe that people need to understand that their voice matters too, and they matter in every way. And so I've struggled with like confidence, and the last couple of years have just been confidence boosters. And now I feel ready to be able to like share that with the world and share that with our young people, because they're gonna make the difference in the future. So
Oh my
so
gosh.
I gotta be my best self.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, I mean, people really fuel you as well. It sounds like, that's a big
Yeah.
what inspires you. So is there someone in your life that's maybe a hero and inspiration to you that has like kind of been like, pushes you to that, like help more?
Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. He does inspire me.
Taylor and I's interview.
I know. Come on, let me speak, baby. I thought about this question, and I want to say I have a lot of people who inspire me, who there's different parts of people that make me want to be better with the different parts of myself. And so it's not just one person, it's not just one hero, it's multiple people. It's people that I've come across throughout my years of life that, wow, they really made that impact on my life. And so to me, that's like they're my hero in that way, because they changed my thought process in a healthy way. And so that goes for many people. I mean, I have coworkers who have done that, family members. I am thankful to come from a really amazing family who truly do want to do well for the world. And so, like, they have changed my life. And so, yeah, friends, even so many different friends throughout my life. And sometimes they're there just for a season,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And that was the lesson. So, like, even though they're no longer in my life, it's what they taught me. And so, like, I think everyone can be a hero.
Yeah,
So
and I love that. I love that your family is very neat people. I've always thought that because I've known of them for a very long time. And I love that you also keep your like heritage and who you guys are. It's something incredible. And I'm glad that you're passing on to younger generations as well.
yeah, well, thank you.
Welcome.
I always forget that you knew my cousin Tim, who was more like a big brother to me. And it's funny, I was just telling my coworkers today about like how much he meant to me. And when people come up to me and they're like, "Are you Tim's sister?" I'm like, "No, he's my cousin, but he's more like my big brother." But he was definitely a person in my life that uh, made a difference. He was like big brother, love that. I don't technically have brothers, but he was that for me. And so I definitely looked up to him.
Yeah, that's what close families are for. You're like, yeah, we're cousins, but really, like I have that as well.
Yeah.
So Josh, let's say you have a billboard and you can put anything you want on this billboard, inspirational, funny, photo, anything you want. What would your billboard have on it?
If I had a billboard, there's so many things that I would want it to say. I'm gonna need a lot of billboards. No.
A lot of
it. If I could have one though, I think I would put it's okay to be yourself all the time.
Ooh, that is perfect.
Yeah. I think that's it's simple, right?
And I think a lot of people struggle with that. I know I do when I'm around certain groups of people, like business or, I mean, yeah, you have to be a little bit different, but you notice yourself, they're like, am I really being true to myself and who I am? Am I really showing my personality? Am I really being that loud or like that introvert? What am I doing to like, am I really being me? Because it does show, like you can see when someone's not being themselves.
Yeah, you can totally tell. And you say that like in business and life and personal relationships and stuff, I just really dislike how there's this thing in society where there's like these super professional ways you have to act with certain people, and then there's your friends where you can act a totally different way. I'm like, you can be yourself all the time. Doesn't matter if it's business to business or with your friends. And I think, because like you said, people are going to know, you know?
You can see right through it. I mean, I've done job interviews and people like, they're completely different people. When I hired them, I was like, wait, who did I interview? Like, this is not the same person.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, just be yourself, man. It's all right.
So, Josh, tell me also something that you have failed at completely, but you've learned a lot about. Like, it's something in your life, you're like, gosh, I failed at that, but it was so important for me. Now I look back and this was like a key point in my life, or something along those lines, or you've taken a little nugget from it, something along those lines.
Something I've failed at. I feel like I fail all the time. Probably every day. I guess a bigger failure would be, geez, going to juvie. Is that a? Oh, just kidding. Yeah, right. I don't know. Gosh, these are freaking hard questions.
You're just so good at everything, babe.
Actually, that was the question or the answer I was like thinking he might say. Be like, failing. What is that? So, what is something from your career? So, you have multiple careers. Obviously, you work for a marketing company. You do your health stuff. You do your yoga. What is something you wish you would have known before jumping into any of these careers?
Something I wouldn't even call this a failure necessarily, but I wish I would have just had more confidence to find mentors, I guess, you know, instead of trying to learn everything on my own.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's so important. I mean, as soon as you get someone to mentor you, it's just, you don't have to recreate the wheel. They tell you some of the stuff, like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it already.
Oh yeah, I did that. Sorry.
Don't do it, please.
So, since you guys are healthy eaters, and I mean, I know you have, you probably eat some non-healthy stuff, but you both are very good about like what you eat and put in your bodies. What are your favorite restaurants here in town and here in Coeur d'Alene?
Well, one of our go-tos all the time is actually Pilgrims.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, yes. Salad bar.
Salad bar, yeah.
We always get their burgers. They release like this Cajun burger, yak burger,
Yeah,
I
Cajun
think.
mushroom yak burger or something like that.
It's so amazing. So we go there often. We probably go there the most often out of any food restaurant, deli, whatever. It's delicious.
Yeah, I've been digging actually Bardenay's. Bardenay's has got some. They've got this like, what the hell is it? It's like a kimchi corned beef burger, and they have gluten-free buns. So that's freaking dope.
They have a good steak salad too, which I really like.
Oh, do they? Okay. We've been wanting to try Izzy's. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I just tried it this last weekend.
How'd you like it?
Cool.
It's comfort food. It's very like that comfort, like, yeah. Think of steaks.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on right now. We kind of touched on it really briefly, but it's not fun to talk about. It's election season. It's COVID. We're in a pandemic. There's, riots. I mean, it's crazy. Taylor, what is one piece of advice you can give to anyone listening right now to make, something they can look forward to, some kind of positive piece of advice? Maybe they're struggling mentally, physically, something positive to tell them, the person listening right now.
So social media is it's there. It can be good, it can be bad. And right now there's just so much bad on social media. And one thing that I have done recently is, especially on my Instagram, is go through and go through your followers or the people you follow, and even if it's family, friends, whatever it is, it could be heartbreaking for them, but for your own mental clarity and your happiness, it's really important to focus on that. That way you can be that light for others too, instead of drowning in social media, the madness of it. And so basically what you do is just unfollow other people that truly don't bring you joy. If you follow somebody who you're like, wow, I really learn a lot from this person, they put good stuff out there in the world, follow them. And then, excuse me, then eventually, like, it's going to take some time. You just got to be intentional about who you follow on social media, because it can drown you in negativity, and no one wants that. There's a lot going on, like you said, in the world. And so yeah, just being intentional with the people you follow. And some friends, and it's happened to me, I've unfollowed and they were really offended about it. But I think if you just communicate that to them, like say, hey, I'm only following specific people for very, very specific reasons. And that's for my happiness and my growth and my contentment with myself. And so when you can do that, you can be you can be that much better for when you're like actually interacting with people in person, because you're not going to say, oh, did you see this whatever on Facebook, and just have that be your topic. It can be more of the, how are you doing? Yeah. Like, how are you? You don't have to talk about the thing that's going around on social media. You can truly get to know people outside of social media and the madness.
Oh, yeah, and I started doing that on Facebook. It's just I didn't like unfriend them, but I just unfollowed the feed.
Yeah.
I can't handle this negativity any longer.
So that's what I would do. And then because it helps you be more positive. And that's what we need in this world. More love and more positiveness.
So how can myself and my followers, my listeners, how can we support you, or what can we do for you guys right now? Uh-oh. So, did you get
I don't know. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, it was kind of like jittery, but I think we got the gist of it.
Editing all four, Josh.
Okay. I was wondering, I was like, man, hopefully she can edit this.
I can do the basic editing.
So what can people do for us? Man, I don't even feel comfortable answering that.
I know.
Like, I don't want anyone to do anything for us.
I mean, people can reach out if they want to and get to know us. And I mean, we're always down to meet new friends and communicate like our message and like the way we live. And we're always available for that. So
yeah,
I don't know.
We're always open to connecting with new people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just freaking connect with us.
Mm-hmm. Whether that be on our business page, like 8 Movement, you can follow that if you want to. But honestly, like, we like human interaction a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, social media it's wonderful, but yeah, I really like to meet new people and go that route.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so very much. I enjoyed chatting with you. And go join them Sunday morning, 9 a.m.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do it.
Yeah, that's how you can support us. Yeah. Meet us every Sunday.
Support us by supporting yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Kroc, and every Monday I release a podcast about different community members here in North Idaho. And then we end the weeks on Fridays with a podcast about the things I'm passionate about: outdoors, adventures, sports, the van life, and even current events. So if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. Thank you again. Now go be kind and do something great.